Hello and welcome to Mercedes-Benz of Oxnard at 1511 Auto Center Drive in the heart of the Oxnard Auto Center. My name is Barry Rudin and we're going to talk about the 2013 S550 sedan. Cue the corny video magazine music. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so we're done with our theme song. Let's talk about this wonderful car. Now, a lot of you are probably turning your noses up because this car came out in 2007 and it's going to be replaced next year. So what could we possibly talk about that hasn't already been talked about by lots of other people? Well, this car has been uniquely ordered by me, and I want to talk about how I ordered it. Now, of course, as you can imagine, you go on a computer, you click a few buttons, and 3-4 months later you get a car. Yeah, well, that's the obvious part. The not so obvious part is what I ordered on the car and why. Let's take a look at the MSRP here and just have a glance. Now, model year 13 has new MSRPs on Mercedes-Benz's. They're easier to read, and they also have all the relevant information here on the right with regard to fuel economy, safety, and parts content. And then, of course, we have the options. Now, let's take a look at the paint, upholstery, and trim first. As you can see, diamond white metallic paint. That is a $795 option. Well, diamond white is a very special paint. It is white, as you can see, but the diamond part refers to the metallic finish that is under the clear coat in the white paint. Having metal flake in the white sets it apart from other S-classes, and it also sets it apart from other vehicles. Now, some customers are going to say, well, metallic white is nothing new. Lexus has had metallic white, Toyota's had metallic white, everyone's had metallic white. Mercedes just got on the bandwagon with metallic white. And that's true, but there's a reason for that. Take a look at, a 10 or 15-year-old metallic white Japanese car or American car, and you'll notice that the plastic bumpers look different than the metal paint because it's very difficult to accurately reproduce the metallic paint on a plastic surface. Also, some brand new cars, if you go look at a Sentra or something like that with metallic paint, you may also notice that in some places the plastic doesn't quite match the metal. And that's one thing, Mercedes-Benz has a slogan. It says the best or nothing. So if we can't do something the absolute best, we're not going to put it on a car. And that's why some of our competitors have brought to market certain technologies early, and they've actually caused, let's talk about iDrive. Okay, iDrive came out in 2002. Mercedes-Benz had been working on a system actually prior to that and was going to bring it to market in about 2007. Well, BMW, not to be outdone by Mercedes-Benz, rushed iDrive to market, and it was a failure. It was difficult to use. You had to be a computer scientist in order to use it. They had classes being held at the dealerships for people who bought them, and that didn't work out. And then, of course, Mercedes-Benz came out with Command, which was a pleasure to use, very easy, very intuitive. And then BMW came out in 2009 with an updated iDrive system that integrated elements of the Mercedes-Benz Command. And now the iDrive is actually very easy to use, intuitive and user-friendly. Another example would be Lexus. They rushed out to market on the LS460, the automatic parking. Well, right now, the 2013 LS460 no longer offers that because they rushed it out to market very early. It was difficult to use. It worked very slowly, and it wasn't, it was fun to show your friends and nice to demonstrate at the dealership, but other than that, it didn't really work. Mercedes-Benz didn't come out with the active park assist until recently, but our active park assist is fast, easy to use, and it's very useful and makes your life a lot easier. So, that is my tangent on the diamond white metallic paint. Now, let's go back over here to the window sticker. Let's take a look. What we have for interior. We have black premium leather, and that costs $2,290. Well, an S-Class already has leather, and it's already very nice leather, so why the heck would I spend $2,200 on something the car already comes with? Well, premium leather is Napa leather. It's the same leather we use on the S600, as well as some of the AMG models, and it is absolutely gorgeous. The difference is premium leather is smooth leather as opposed to sort of the pebble grain leather with the standard S-Class. This is more like a glove or wallet type of leather as opposed to the standard S-Class, which has a saddle type of leather. It also includes contrast stitching, and as you can see, this contrast stitching here is sort of a brown in color, very distinctive. Now, in addition to the premium leather on the seats, the dashboard, the full dashboard, is upholstered and stitched in premium leather. The standard S only has a leather instrument cluster binnacle, so this part here on the standard S is there, but the dashboard is not there on the standard S. So here we have a really beautiful hand-stitched leather dashboard. Also the door panels and the upper parts of the doors and the armrests, everything is upholstered. So much nicer leather. Now, when you take a look at the quality of this interior and the difference between the base S and this S, the $2,200 really isn't a lot of money, and certainly not on a car that costs over $100,000. So it's something that when your business partner or your neighbor gets in this car and they have an S550, they'll say, gosh, this is really nice. How come I didn't get this on my S550? Or how come my salesperson didn't tell me about this? Well, here it is. Next, black ash wood, special order, no cost. Okay, good. Well, there is actually a slight cost. You'll see there's a special order surcharge for $250. So for $250, I have black ash wood. Burled walnut would be the alternative, but the black ash wood is more contemporary. It's really beautiful. It goes very well with the black interior as well as the panorama roof. And that is definitely something that you're not going to see on your neighbor's S-Class. So, next option here, we have the power rear window side blinds for $750. Well, $750 is a lot of money, but these are full power. They really cut down on the heat as well as increase privacy in the back seats. The rear seat passengers can operate them from the rear windows. The driver can also operate these side window shades, and it looks a lot nicer than putting those stick-on side shades that you get from Walmart. So definitely a worthwhile option in an S-Class. Plus it has the rear window sunshade as well, so it just kind of goes along with it. Next, panorama sunroof for $1,090. Well, the S-Class already has a sunroof, so why are we buying another sunroof? Well, this isn't just another sunroof. The whole entire roof is glass. It's really beautiful to look at. It adds nice contrast, especially with the black interior. And it is welcome in all weather conditions, because in the winter you can really check out the snow-capped mountains by opening the power shades. And in the summer you can open up that roof and let in lots of really nice warm air or cool sea air. Plus it still continues to integrate the roof rack system, so you can still put on your snowboard, ski rack, bike rack, surf rack. So it's useful as well as really nice. So for $1,000, I mean, it's a $100,000 car. Why not spend an extra grand and have a really nice roof? Also in the S, the rear seat passengers can independently operate their roller blinds separately from the front seat passenger. Next, active body control for $4,090. Well, the standard S-Class comes with aromatic air suspension, which is semi-active. And it is included with the car. It has a sport mode, a comfort mode, as well as ride height adjustment and self-leveling. So why would a customer spend over $4,000 for an optional suspension? What could possibly be so good about this? Well, it's the world's only fully active suspension system. And a fully active suspension system has the ability to move a wheel either down or up. And basically that allows the engineers to eliminate anti-sway bars. So because the sway bars are eliminated, you get much, much better ride quality in a straight line. And in the corners, they're able to apply pressure to the outer wheels and actually lift the inner wheels. And if you think about the way a motorcycle leans in the corners, how when you're making a left turn, the bike actually dips to the left. That's the way this system works, although it's actually more subtle than that. If you put the car into a hard left-hand turn, the suspension system on the left side will actually physically lift the wheels to keep the body level. So the car doesn't actually lean left, but it doesn't lean right either. In the sport mode, it eliminates all but 3% of body roll, and in the comfort mode, it eliminates all but 6% of body roll. So even in the comfort mode, this car is going to outhandle all of its competitors. In the sport mode, it almost feels like a video game, because you can just put this car through a slalom, through a series of canyon roads, through anything, and there's no perceptible lean at all in the body. It's mind-blowing, to be honest with you. It doesn't even feel real. Plus, the steering is so much sharper and tighter because every movement of that wheel is a goes directly to the tires and then directly to the pavement. With the AMG Sport Package that I ordered on this car, you get high-performance tires. Now, with the high-performance tires, you get much better grip in the corners, and it really complements the suspension. And even though they're 20-inch wheels, they ride so smoothly with the active suspension. Active suspension also absorbs vibration, so the ride is eerily smooth. Now, it's firm because it is, it's a Mercedes, and Mercedes-Benzes have a firm ride. But it's so smooth, and it absorbs the biggest bumps you can imagine. You can actually fly over speed bumps, and you don't even have to think about it because it just absorbs them. Now, one thing I will say about the suspension, to its benefit, when you first ride in a car like this and you go down the freeway, in LA we have nasty, awful freeways, the 405, the 210, 134, 101, and you've got expansion joints, and the cars are bouncing all over the place. When you see cars in front of you, really heaving and hoeing, bouncing over those defects on the road or uneven surfaces on the road, and your car is perfectly smooth, it actually makes you a little bit car sick at first, because your body actually kind of braces itself for a big bump. And that's one thing I kind of had to get used to. I was actually almost getting car sick because the car wasn't moving at all. It was perfectly smooth and level over the bumps. You just feel, you look ahead and you see a really big expansion joint in the freeway, and the car in front of you it almost looks like it's going to catch air at 80 miles an hour, and you just barely feel anything at all, and you're expecting a much larger jolt. But once you get used to that, your body actually relaxes completely in the car. People don't realize that when they're in the car and they go through corners and they go over bumps, they accelerate, they brake, they actually sort of use their body to keep them supported. And in this car, you just don't have to do that. You can literally completely relax as if you're on an airplane. Another option, Distronic Plus Cruise Control with pre-safe brake, which this car is equipped with. With Distronic, you simply set the cruise control, and when traffic stops, the car stops. When traffic goes, the car goes. So your legs and your feet are completely relaxed in stop-and-go traffic. Plus, it rides just so incredibly smooth that it's a different experience. I recently transported a client's brand new S600 from South Bay all the way up to Oxnard. Never used the brakes, never hit the gas. And the relaxation that occurs behind the wheel, you're just so fresh, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. I don't really care because I'm listening to my music, and the car is basically driving for me. All I do is steer. Now, the performance aspect of ABC is another really incredible thing, because the car doesn't lean, it doesn't squat, it doesn't dive. So when the road tightens up and you see cars start to apply their brakes and they're really leaning through the corners and cars look like they're going to tip over, this car is perfectly level. Also, the steering is really sharp and communicates well what the tires are doing. Because there's no perceptible lean, it can be hard, especially for someone who's maybe had some professional driving experience, to anticipate the attitude that the car is going to take in a corner once you reach or exceed the limits of adhesion. Well, in this car, it's definitely a little harder to predict because the body doesn't lean, but you definitely have good feel through the steering, so you're confident that you know where the limits are and when they're going to kick in. And of course, stability control, as long as you leave it on, can correct any changes in attitude. Torque vectoring brakes. The S550 also features torque vectoring brakes. That means that when you go into a corner a little too hot, instead of just applying the stability control and slowing the vehicle down, the stability control has the ability to route power to the outside wheel. So if you're making a hard right and the car starts to get a little wonky on you, when the stability control kicks in, it actually routes the power to the outside wheel to help keep the car pointed into the corner and help reduce understeer and make the car more neutral in the corners. The tire fitment is staggered, so the tires in the back are much wider than the tires in the front, so it's extremely stable even if you've got a full load of passengers and cargo in the back. And the torque vectoring brakes basically allows you to, maintain your speed better through the corners, and the stability control, while left on, doesn't turn out the lights on performance because it does send power to the outer wheels and allows you to maintain your speed a lot better. Crosswind stabilization. Active body control includes crosswind stabilization. And that feature is one that's hard to put a finger on because it works so well you don't know it's working. So you've got to be really observant to know when it's happening. There's a section here on the 101, there's a section on the 118, there's a section out on I-10 going out to Cabazon and Palm Springs where there's so much wind. So you think you might feel something in the car because of the wind. You look around, the trucks are blowing around, the trees are swaying. You maybe hear a little bit of the wind around the windows, but other than that, you just don't feel anything. When you go by, big rigs at high speed and you're passing them, you kind of hear you kind of feel the car move around a little bit. Well, the car doesn't do that at all. The suspension and the stability control completely counteract that. So basically in this car here, you're probably more relaxed in this car than you are on your couch at home watching TV. That's how comfortable it is, and that's how stable it is, and it just inspires confidence. So why don't we take this car for a drive? It's kind of hard to demonstrate all the features of the car with a camera because active body control, you kind of have to be in the car and feel it. Distronic, you can certainly see it. I can show you the display in the dash so you can see the distance display, but that's another feature that you really have to see to believe. So I invite people right down here to 1511 Auto Center Drive in the heart of the Oxnard Auto Center to see me, Barry Rudin, and I'll take you on a test drive and show you the deal on the car. Now, I also have another car coming right behind this car with active body control, so when this one gets delivered, I'll have something for everyone to drive. It's really quite something. So let's take a look now and get my rudimentary cameraman up and take it for a little cruise here.